meeting Corey a few years ago, and it is a pleasure to work with him again. Ms. Corey is going to talk with us about the challenges facing the 21st century family and how much things have changed since when we were growing up to now. Mr. Worden is a licensed clinical professional counselor, currently providing outpatient counseling services at the Plainfield Counseling Center. Corey has experience in hospital and community-based behavioral health settings and holds an MA in pastoral counseling from Louisville University in Chicago. He is a regular behavioral health presenter and educator and a 1993 graduate of PHS, which I believe would be the only one high school at the time. And father of four, Corey Worden.
And I can't really describe what it's like having 4 kids, but Jim Gaffigan, I think, says it best. So in addition to being a husband and parent, I'm also a mental health counselor. And I have one question for you tonight. Well, probably a couple more as we go on throughout the presentation. But my first question for you tonight is, what's the last piece of parenting advice that you got? Blah, 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 blah. And that's the essence of blah, blah parenting, is that it's all noise. It's all blah, blah, blah when we get to the parenting advice. Or maybe you think, like this guy. An awful lot of parenting advice on Facebook, right? So I'm going to talk tonight about some considerations and some suggestions. I'm not really going to talk much about advice. I don't really think there's been any parenting experts out there. There's parenting advice, parenting tips, things like that that come up. I'm going to talk about considerations and suggestions. What I ask of you is that you try to take these considerations into consideration and tailor them to your particular situation, tailor them to your approach. If you try something here tonight and it doesn't work, there's a 100% money guarantee. Okay? So the reality of what we're dealing with is parenting. It's different from person to person, and that was my difficulty in trying to get as much as I could get into this presentation as possible. So what do you think about this generation? Can everybody see this quote? Attributed to a guy 2,500 years ago named Socrates. That only gets a laugh from like our generation, right? It's like nobody else going to get that. None of the kids are going to get that, right? You got it? Nice. That's awesome. I love your contribution in the bullying topic too. So yeah, so we as adults, this quote really talks about our frustration with youth, our frustration, and it carries on from generation to generation, over and over and over again. And that's really the point of the quote. It doesn't really matter that Socrates never said it, and he probably, if he did say it, he said it in Greek. So it's, it doesn't really matter that he never said that. The point is this thing goes over and over again. So what have you heard about this generation? Well, one of the things is there's some bad news about this generation out there, especially related to their mental health. And sadly, I get to go from like telling you jokes and having fun to say that the current generation of kids is the most depressed, most anxious, most overwhelmed, and most stressed of any previous generation. Okay? And the question that everybody always kind of asks is, oh, they get everything they want, right? They have all of these things. They have all these opportunities. Okay? See if I can get to the next slide here. Everybody asks that question why, and imagine for a moment what Socrates might say about this. So, that was all part of the presentation. So, I would like everybody in here right now to pull this out. And if you left your phone at home or in the car, please see me during the break. We need to check on you and make sure you're okay. Okay? Nice. Wait. Selfie. Right? I forgot to smile though. I'm not good at this. Okay, so everybody hold their phone up right now. Repeat after me. This would even be a better selfie. Okay? Repeat after me. This is not a phone. This. You don't have to keep going. Okay. Thank you. This is a phone. This is it. That is awesome. That was great. If I ever do this presentation again, you're coming, okay? Right? Okay. So yeah, this is a phone. This right here is a computer. Okay? And we have no idea sometimes. Even the most vigilant parents, the most tech-savvy parents, have no idea what goes on in the lives of our children on these devices. Okay? We try and we try and we try, but we have no idea the sadness, the pain, the frustration, the ups, the downs that they go through on these devices. And the anger as well. I can tell you're happy with it. It's okay. I know you're happy with it. But we also don't know what goes on. And we also know that, so there's one word for this generation, and did you start seeing it? Did you see it? Here it is. That's the one word of this generation. Ooh, it's stealing my thunder up here. Stealing my thunder. Overexposed. Overexposed is how we talk about this generation. We talk about the things that they're going through. So we know that this technology that I just pulled out and showed everyone, we know it's infinite in its ability to connect people. And there's all kinds of opportunities that our kids have. So technology is here to stay. It's here with us, and we can control very little of it. So what we need to do is focus on how we can enhance the learning process with our kids as it relates to it. It also presents us with this thing that happens with this phone, is our kids are exposed to these things much more quickly. This amongst a whole host of other things. Okay? These things used to be encountered at young adult age, college age. They're now being encountered in middle school and elementary school in a lot of cases. So how do we do this? How do we contain some of this overexposure while also meeting the needs of our children? So what's the question that everybody asks? What do I want for my children, right? Okay? So how do you treat your child? Do you give your child everything that they want? Right? What do we want for our children? We want our children to be responsible. We want our children to be honest. We want our children to be respectful. We want our children to be happy. I hear that over and over and over again. And mental health sometimes doesn't, when you talk about those values that I was just describing, responsibility, respect, honesty, those don't always come wrapped up in happiness. Okay? Those are difficult values to instill in individuals, and generally, we have to learn lessons in order to instill those values. If you really wanted your children to be happy, you'd give them everything and anything that they wanted, right? There's a name for that, actually. It's called a grandparent, right? Right? So happiness might be a component of mental health, but mental health is not just about being happy. Okay? Mental health is about responding to life's challenges and being able to respond to those challenges. Some might call that resilience. Okay? Resilience is a way of saying bouncing back. So the ability to bounce back from some of these challenges. Parenting is about creating the conditions to meet these challenges. That's our job. Our job is to create these conditions, to instill these values. The number one task of parents of this generation of kids is to foster and build resilience in our kids so that they can bounce back from those situations like on the bus, what Nicole was talking about. So how do we do this? Is that what you're thinking? No? Maybe? So we have to change, we have to begin with changing the question. We change the question from what do I want from my children to what is the kind of parent I need to be for my child. And the responsibility then comes to me. The responsibility is on me to take that into consideration and to be conscious and deliberate and intentional in the way that I parent my child. That's the responsibility and the commitment that if I want my child to be the change that I want to see, I have to be that change as well. This responsibility occurred to me when I was actually disciplining my 3-year-old son, putting him in timeout. And we were both in a full-on temper tantrum, okay? I was probably throwing things, probably yelling, and not being the type of parent that should be up here having a parenting discussion, right? Yelling, screaming. Yes, I'm a recovering, screaming parent, okay? It's been about 9 hours since I raised my voice in anger towards one of my children. The reality of this is I was able to step back as I'm assessing the psychological damage that I've done to my child and how many hours of therapy I'm going to be paying and my wife is going to be paying for what I've done, and I'm beating myself up over this. I was able to ask myself a question just for a moment, who's acting like the 3-year-old? And I had to realize that it was me. And it was him. But I wasn't 3. So I need to act age appropriately when it's possible. So how do I start doing that? Again, how do I start doing that? So it begins with this. Sorry. Can you all see my hand? Can you focus your attention on my hand? Might take a moment. Now focus your attention on the screen behind you. Now focus your attention on the wall back there. Now bring your attention back to the center of the room. And bring your attention back to a place about reading distance in front of you. And notice how you can focus your attention. You determine where your attention goes. If you struggle with that, that's okay. But I bet that everybody had the ability to do that. And that's one of the first complaints, okay, of parents today, that their children don't pay attention, right? Okay? It's such a big complaint that there was a disorder made up for, okay? But it's also the same complaint that I hear from children about their parents. And one of the things that does that is this. Yeah, it's a really nice painting there. That's really good. I'm checking my Facebook feed for a bunch of stuff that I'm really not that interested in. Oh, blah, blah, parenting and mental health for a new generation. Bully stops here. I'm going to that. That's about the only time I've been on Facebook. But I want to share with you one of the things that I did. Again, it's a consideration, it's a suggestion. And no, it's not to get off of all social media. It's not to get off of Facebook or any of those things. That didn't work for me. I actually tried it. It didn't work out. I had trouble keeping in touch with people. I couldn't see pictures. I couldn't see all kinds of things. So what I've done, though, is I've actually deleted social media, and this is just a suggestion, from my phone. And the reason for this is because now when I go on social media, it's a conscious, deliberate, and intentional decision that I make on a daily basis when I do that. Sometimes I don't even go on a daily basis because it's not so easy anymore. I can't just pull it out on my phone, sit on my couch, and my children come home from school and try to tell me about whatever happened. You know, it could have been anything they were trying to tell me about their day. And I'm not stuck in my Facebook feed for a bunch of stuff that I don't really care about. So that leads us into my next suggestion. Breathe. It's very important, right? As you take a breath. As you take another. Now, do you understand how to breathe? Has anybody shown you how to breathe before? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the blah, 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 blah way of breathing. Right? Right? So what I want you to do is take your hand, put it on your belly. If you're tweeting or Facebooking, we'll give you a second. And simply breathe in, breathe out. Boom, you're done. You just did the most effective parenting action that you can take. It's probably the best advice that I can give to anybody, is you stopped and took a conscious, deliberate, intentional moment before you responded to your kid. I actually deployed this. So my how old is she now? She's 7. It's hard keeping track when you've got 4. So my 7-year-old daughter, every time I used to yell her name, I would say her name, and she would know intuitively that I was going to ask her to do something. Okay? So the response is, Dad, what do you want? And all of it. My girls like to growl. Okay, that's the other thing that they like to do. So they'll growl at me as well. So what I started doing was I started taking that conscious, deliberate, intentional breath. And what happened? Nothing changed for her. What changed was for me. Okay? My response to her changed then. I was much more apt to hear her go, "Why?" or whatever she was going to say at that point. I was able to take that breath for just that one moment and stop it. And here's the thing that then happened next. As I continued to do that, and my response to her was less angry because of the way that she just went blah at me. When my response was different to her, she suddenly started to soften her response to me. And now at this point, I actually asked her to take a breath with me. We take the breath together, and then I say, "Can you please go and do this?" Now that's not something that you're going to go home tonight and do. I'm going to do that tonight, you know? That's about process, and that's about teaching process and teaching process to your children about how to do these. What does every parent want? What is everything that they say in, just checking my time. What is everything, anytime somebody comes into counseling, the request is, I want my child to respect me, and I want them to respect other people. Okay? And what I do in that situation, because parents, by the time they get into counseling, are super, super frustrated. Okay? They're very frustrated. Nobody's hearing them at all. So what I do is I offer them my respect. I offer them my respect by first really listening to what they have to say. Second, tuning in to what it is that they're saying at that moment. And really communicating to them I'm present to their needs and being present to their needs in that moment. Okay? This is something that I will often wait for a long time before I respond. I won't respond back to them and if I do respond and want to start like giving something back to them or talking to them, I will ask them if they want it. Do you feel heard? Do you feel like I've heard everything that you have to say? And usually my response is, if your child was giving you respect, what would that look like? Because respect is not necessarily doing whatever you say. And a lot of times that's exactly what people are talking about. Respect is a two-way street for this generation. And a lot of people will disagree with me and that respect should just be offered to the parent. And this generation has too many avenues for getting respect in other places. So respect has to be a two-way street. We offer respect in order to get respect in return. And again, it's a process. It's not something I'm going to go home and like, we're really going to respect you today. Okay? That's not going to happen. You know, this is process and how this happens. And the problem with the overexposure of this generation is that they go in and they do all kinds of sometimes dangerous and high-risk things, communicating a lot of intimate information to strangers on the internet. And the reason why they do it is because they feel like these strangers really listen to them. They really tune into their needs. And they really are present there. It's one of the reasons that they reach out to some of these strangers and do these things. Same boat as RASB, CT, APP, appreciation. Okay? So appreciation is the other thing that parents want. And again, how do you appreciate your child? How do you admire what they do on a day-to-day basis? I have a handout that I'll make available at my table at the resource fair and also for the Q&A. Because I can't fit everything in to the presentation, I jammed it all into an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and all the stuff that I couldn't fit in. But also, one of the suggestions on there, I developed a prompt sheet for my parents. And it's a prompt for admiring your child and appreciating your child. Because I don't know about you, the nature of my role as a parent is to tell my kid to do stuff, okay? That's part of my role as a parent. They're learning. I'm teaching them. So I wind up sounding really critical when I'm doing it. My wife talks to me about my voice tone on a pretty regular basis, about how I respond to my children. So it's the nature of parenting in general that you have to tell your kid to do stuff. You know, pick up the clothes. What were some of the things I was even doing this morning? Get your shoes on, get your socks on, get off the couch, get on the couch. All of the different things that we tell our kids to do on a regular basis. And it puts us in this weird position where like we never see any of the good stuff, or we don't pay enough attention to the good stuff. So I suggest to my parents, make a journal, make a log of the things that you appreciate and admire about your child on a daily basis. And the response is often nothing. I'm not ready to do that. And I say, that's okay. Here's the prompt sheet. Here's what I would like you to do. And go forward and do the best that you can with that. And you don't necessarily have to share it with them. Okay? This is, again, about being conscious, delivering, intentional, of developing that ability to see the appreciative things, to see the admirable things that your kids are doing. Criticize less, appreciate more. Be specific about your appreciation, and be genuine. Self-esteem movement has kind of left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. Okay? We wind up doing it. We kind of took the pendulum and said, say everything that's wonderful. So I get it. There's a lot of parents who feel like they appreciate their kids a lot. Okay? What I'm talking about is being really genuine about the appreciation, being conscious, deliberate, and intentional. And the last thing I'm going to talk about tonight is communication. Everybody comes in talking about communication. I want to communicate better with my child. I want to communicate better. I could talk all night about emotional intelligence. If you're familiar with it, go look it up. I'm not going to talk about it. You're welcome. Okay? I'm going to talk about, I came up with really 3 do's and 3 don'ts for communication that I'm going to really hit on kind of fast, and then we can expand on that. So I start with the do's because I always like to end with the positive, okay? Or the don'ts. Did I just say that wrong? Start with the don'ts because I always like to end with the do's. I like to end with the positive. So don't ask why questions unless you're asking why of yourself. Okay? And here's the reason why. Why questions tend to promote defensiveness, okay? First of all, and a lot of times they just don't know. They don't have the level of experience necessary to be able to explain to you why they just stuck their finger in the light socket. Okay? Why I stuck my finger in the light socket when I was 3 years old was because it was super cool, man. So I didn't want to tell my parents that, okay? So you don't always want to hear the answer either when you ask that why question. So when they say they don't know, believe them. Don't falsely reassure your child. One of the things that Paul touched on, don't worry about it, it's not that bad. Those kind of statements are really dismissive. One's the one that I hear on a pretty regular basis. Kid falls down on the ground, just crashed his bike, bleeding, screaming, "You're fine, you're fine, you're fine." No, I'm not. Bleeding. Just crashed my bike. Not so much. Okay? So what I say to my children, and I don't know if it's right or not, but what I say to my child when that happens is, "You're safe. I'm here. I'm here to help. I'm here. I don't know what happened, but I'm here to help." And usually, I need that split second to get in there to be able to say it. Okay? And the number one thing that will be ignored here tonight, don't preach. I often tell my clients, don't should on yourself or other people. Okay? So don't should on yourself and don't should on others. Preaching is one of the things that we're just notorious for. And it's like passed down from generation to generation to generation, similarly to what Socrates was talking about. One of those things. But do the best you can. The do's. Do listen. thankfully I'm a counselor, I'm trained. I don't mind that. I can sit in silence for hours. But being quiet. Are you waiting for your turn to listen? Are you waiting for your turn to speak? Oftentimes that's what we're doing as parents. They're explaining, and we're just waiting for our turn to speak. That's not really listening, right? Okay, one of the ways that you can also listen is by restating what they just said, what that child just said. So you're saying you stuck your finger in the light socket because it was super cool. Okay, now we can respond and go forward. Okay, that's how you summarize what somebody is saying. Of course, I'm probably going to be a little bit more emotional if that's happening. Now we can actually address the fact that that can kill you. Reassure. Genuine reassurance. What do you think? I'm here. I'm going to talk about that. I'm here for you. I believe in you. I got your back. One of the things that I think our kids need to hear from us is I got your back. And empower them to make their decisions. Teach them how to problem solve through this. One of the things I do with my adolescents is I have kind of I have two buckets that I talk to them about. And I say, there's one bucket of wise decisions and there's a bucket of unwise decisions. Right? And sometimes it's generally after they've gone through this whole thing about why they're doing what they're doing. I'm trying to think about one of the examples is usually about homework and why they don't do homework over and over and over again. And then we start to talk about the choice that they're making, choosing not to do that. And we talk about those consequences. And what I wind up doing is, well, one of the wise things might be to do your homework first thing when you get home and get it done. Okay? That's going to have positive and negative consequences. The negative consequence, you're not going to be able to go out and play. Okay? Positive consequence, you're going to have your homework done. Unwise decisions, if it falls in the unwise, you're going to ignore doing your homework. That's also going to have positive and negative consequences. So how do you problem solve and how do you model problem solving for your children is the important part of it. Lastly, the truth is, just about everything that you do, if you try what I'm throwing out to you tonight, is likely to fail. We need to teach our kids about process. Okay? Sometimes, no matter what you do, no matter what you try, okay, it's really, really difficult to get through. So the thing that I want to model for you and model for my children is that I'm not going to give up, that I'm going to be conscious, that I'm going to be deliberate, that I'm going to be intentional in the way that I approach my child on a day-to-day basis. And that's ultimately what this is about. It's how do you consciously and intentionally parent your child. Have you ever heard the saying, tomorrow will be a better day? Another one of those false reassurances. Right? So tomorrow's going to be more of the same. Okay? You can choose how to approach that sameness. And you can choose to approach it from a place of deliberateness, from a place of being attentive, from a place of trying to understand, or you can choose to approach it in a different way. My greatest fear in putting this thing together was that, and I'll finish with this, my greatest fear was that my children one day are going to watch this video of me doing this, and we're going to have a little powwow, and they're going to point out and critique all of my parenting. And the truth is, I don't do this stuff very well sometimes. So my greatest fear is also, though, my greatest triumph and my greatest tribute to my children, that I'm going to keep trying, that I'm going to keep practicing, and that I'm going to keep loving them unconditionally. Thank you.
Can you hear me? All right, so I'm
again, one part of me up here is saying to you, you will survive this. I did. Now, I did go prematurely gray, and my husband is bald. But we did survive. And we are lucky enough to have a grandchild. Two, actually. And so, we are going to take a break for about 10 minutes. During this break, one, please eat. We have a ton of food out there. Get some coffee, get some cookies. Just talk to one another. This is a network. We want you all to get to know each other, talk to each other, share stories. Grab your surveys. Please fill them out for us. Turn them in so we can have your feedback. If you have a question, write it down on the index card that we gave you. And when we reconvene, we will separate you depending on which speaker you would like to ask some questions to. And then we'll collect your cards then. We'll give the questions to the speaker. So try to stump them, see what you can do. And then we will conclude our night. If you are a mental health professional and you're here for some CEUs, or you're a teacher and you'd like some CPDUs, we will have them available also for you at the end of the night. So please stretch your legs, take a break. We'll get back together in about 10 minutes. Don't wander too far, just far enough for the food. All right, and enjoy.